How y'all doing? Something's beginning to concern me, and I'm gonna share it with you, and then I'm gonna do a first time trial and review of a pipe and a blend. But first, and probably more importantly, you may remember this little number. Okay, look on that sucker. That is my handmade Whiteford pipe, made by Michael Whiteford in Welland, Ontario, Canada. And I have a concern about it. As I've said many times, this is just about my best smoking pipe. I love it. I can't seem to put it down. And that's where my problem comes in. Take a look at this. Michael, maybe you're watching. This has begun to darken up like a pipe will do over time. If you remember, it was a lot more blonde. That's natural wood. There's no color on it. I had Michael leave off the color. And it's darkening right there. That's a really dark point. Now, I look inside this. See if I can show it to you. I don't know if I can get that to show up. Can you see in there? I'm trying to look at the computer screen and figure out if I'm getting this right or not. Anyway, you can see, that's probably about the best shot you're going to get. That about there is where this is. But you can see there's still a lot of material between the inside and the outside where that dark spot is. I'm guessing maybe that's just an area of pulpiness that is just darkening in. There's no there's nothing going on the surface that I can see. Not at all. It just is getting darker. It's not burnt. There's no hole in there. There's no burnt area near that or anything. In fact, as a precaution, which I do to all my pipes, is I line the bottom of this with a little bit of pipe mud. I like the bottom of the bowl to be flat, meeting the draft hole, just flat. Some people like it just a dip below the draft hole. I prefer to have it flush. So that's why you see a little mud at the bottom there. But if you think I should be concerned about that, leave me a comment. Right now I'm not concerned about it. The integrity of the wood is full. And I'm pinching it right there, and there's plenty of material. I don't smoke this thing until it burns like that, so maybe I won't worry about it. But tonight, I want to introduce you to something that I just bought. I've been curious about these for a while, so I went and got me one. I'll spare you the yabo, but I will show you the product. And it goes like this. Ta-da! That is a British-made Falcon pipe. This one, I will show you once I coax it out of the bag. This one is a meerschaum-lined rusticated pipe. Okay, and if for those of you who don't own a Falcon pipe yet, this is how they work. Pretty neat, huh? There's a little sort of what looks like a twisted pipe cleaner in there. It's actually their form of a filter, I suppose. And yeah, there's just enough air when you screw that on there. There's like a half of a thread turn, and you don't want to force it. That is real wood. I was gonna maybe break this pipe in tonight, and to do it, I was going to use a blend that I've not tried yet. I'm very partial to GLP's blends. So, went and bought me this one here. Lagonda. Lagonda. That is a creepy picture. Sorry about that. This also, unopened, pristine, virgin, untouched, unsoiled, unadulterated. And I was very curious about this blend, and I'd like to try it. Let me read it to you. Take off my spectacles. Lagonda is a luxurious blend comprising generous portions of Cyprus latakia, ripe red Virginias, and fine Oriental leaf, with a bit of bright added for a hint of subtle sweetness. Pressing and aging in cakes integrates the flavors and partially ferments the tobaccos. The cakes are then sliced and tumbled into ribbons, ready for your enjoyment. And by your, I mean mine. Let's see what happens when you put new Lagonda, fresh Lagonda, provided it's dry enough to smoke, mind you, in a brand new Falcon pipe. Because I'm breaking it in, I'm going to go easy on it. I have actually taken the liberty of cleaning this through already. You never know what comes out of a factory, and they're making a chrome pipe. You know, you never know what gets stuck in there. So I basically, you have to use a really narrow pipe cleaner. You can't get in there. You can't get in there with a thick one or a standard thickness one. This is fairly clean at that end, and it's just, I know it looks thick in the picture, but let's see if it'll go through. Not bad. Made it down through the stem. That stem, that is not acrylic, that is not vulcanite, that is not Bakelite that I can tell. You know what it is? It's plastic. It's just some kind of plastic. So here I am getting down the chrome. I made it that far. I'd say that's a pretty good shot. I hope I didn't push that filter out of the way. Let me get in there and see. No, it just seems to kind of lie there. You know, look at the comparison of the thread. You don't get more than a half a turn to put this on there. You just don't. Just boop. And you don't want to force it. But it is on there pretty tight. Not bad. Let's pack this baby. In order to pack the baby, we've got to open our bucket of Lagonda. Here goes. Goodbye cellar option. You're seeing it before I am. I bet you it looks like paper. Right, Benny? It does look like paper. You know why? Because it's paper. And that's going to serve me no purpose. Into the dustbin we go. Smells like GLP's tobacco. Catching the latakia big time. Latakia. That's what it is now. Oh, they don't put the little boat in there. Just that. I guess the boat thing is sort of a C&D thing. But look at that is kind of a long, semi-moist ribbon. That's a long. Those are long ribbons. You can see that they took a cake and shaved it down. That's going to change the smokability of any tobacco to have it long and somewhat thick like that. I'm guessing I'm going to have to kind of pull it apart a bit. Take a whiff. What do you think? Subtle. It's not overwhelming. It's not like a crazy, you know, Latakia bomb like. It's not bad, but it's not like Gaslight or the Dunhills like Standard Mixture or other Englishes like that. It's not as strong as like a 965 or a Camoys 11, but it is nice and pungent. It's got a very vinegary pungency. I haven't let it breathe. It's not so wet that I couldn't smoke it. So I'm going to pack this. See if I can bring it down a bit with me here. Love is like candy on a shelf. You want to taste, just help yourself. Tom Jones. A very bad Tom Jones. Just pinch it apart a little, see what will happen. There's something about GLPs. It's so recognizable as GLPs. And this doesn't look like any other GLPs that I have. Now it's going to be loose pack because it's a first burn. I know everybody breaks in a pipe a different way. Me, trial by fire, baby. Literally. Loose pack. Oh, my fan club. My darling. Okay. I've never even clenched this pipe. Alright, let's put this where my beauty can radiate into your life. Look at this. I got up to shave this morning, I looked in the mirror, and you know what? I liked what I saw. Come on, have some. What movie did that come from? Paper back in there. Gotta send a reply to somebody. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Yeah. I hope you can't hear what I'm typing. It's very personal. Chomping down on that plastic bit, it's not very pleasurable. It doesn't feel luxurious. It feels like a factory-made pipe. But I'm not knocking it. Hold on. Okay, here goes. Very fluid, light, airy draw because I didn't pack it very tightly. Persistent little Vixen. Telling them to go long on pork bellies. Alright. Sort of. Only I'm the pork belly in question. Lagonda and a Falcon. Tamped with a genuine Rune Dog. It's funny, this pipe draws surprisingly fluidly. I mean, and I don't just mean because it's loosely packed, but there's just something about it. You feel a contour draw. Nothing iffy about it. The actual light. First impression, hard to tell on a first pipe, first smoke of a first time blend for you, but I'm liking it. You get the Latakia right off the bat, but the Latakia acts sort of as an envelope for something else being delivered. Sweet, sweet bright Virginia, riding on top of that smoky. Trying to keep the burn going. Gotta tell you, not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of that bit at all. I mean, the button is rough. I'm probably going to have to maybe sand that down a bit. I mean, it's really, they just kind of hit it and left it sharp, you know. But it's just soft plastic. It's not like acrylic. It doesn't feel like it's going to cut you. It just feels like you're chewing on a piece of plastic, like you bit the end off a pen. But I'm not knocking the pipe. The pipe's weight is interesting. It's pretty good. The chrome weighs almost nothing. All the weight is right there in the stummel. And of course, this one is lined with stone, so it's going to be a little heavier. But even that said, this is probably only slightly heavier than Michael's pipe that he made me, because that one is weighted absolutely perfectly. This one's close. I'm going to give it a bit more of a tamp. Going to try and squeeze the draw a bit. I should keep it lit better now. All right. I tend not to retrohale, but this one is subtle enough so that I can do it, and I don't feel sick doing it. I don't feel like my head's being invaded by something. I try to keep the carcinogens away from as many membranes as possible. I'm liking it. It's pretty nice. Once you get down into the burn a little bit, and you get that initial couple of lights out of the way, it's not too wet, it's just right. It's just got that GLP sort of flavor marriage that you come to expect from them. When they put ingredients together, they don't just sort of mix them, they marry them. They have a very good method of marrying the flavors together, and it's evident here in Lagonda. I'm going to call this one mild to medium. The flavor is evident but not strong. The smokiness is the top contingent of the flavor. Definitely the smoke. And you can kind of catch two different kinds of Virginia in there. There's a sort of a dark fruity one and a bright one that brings a little bit of sugar. Not much. It's not too sweet. As far as the pipe goes, I was curious whether the bottom of this thing was going to get hot on me. Now, as you can imagine, I'm only about maybe not even a quarter of the way through that bowl. The outside, because of the thickness of the briar and the presence of the meerschaum inside, the outside of that is room temperature, even near the top where the flame is. It's probably, all right, realistically, that's probably about 3 degrees above room temperature. The bottom, however, is about 5 degrees above room temperature, and the flame's way up here. I'm curious to know how hot that's going to get when the flame is down here. I probably won't make you sit through the whole thing while I smoke it, but while I'm toking on this, what have I been up to? Well, you, my friends, know what I haven't been up to. Haven't been making a lot of videos lately. In fact, almost none. The reason being, it's been a tough logistical season for me. You've heard me talk about my car and other things. My job has got some issues. And my family's gone through a few things. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. Hopefully all good. But my attention has been away. I've been walking a little bit better lately. I can't account for the reason. Maybe it's the heat of the summer. What happens to me is pulmonary edema accumulates in my left leg, in my calf, rendering the muscles kind of ineffective and causing a lot of pain from pressure when the muscles flex. For that reason, my left foot kind of kicks out sideways when I walk. and I walk limping. I walk on my left leg as if it's a peg, like Captain Ahab. So, that's a good thing. Interesting story for you. 23 months ago, I got a speeding ticket not far from where I live. I was coming home from my sister's house, actually. It was a band rehearsal at her house. Now, what it was is they were ripping out a toll booth because Massachusetts has done away with cash toll booths, and they've put in all electronic tolls. Now you just drive through. There are no more booths. You have to have the transponder in your car and all that stuff. Now, at the time, they were ripping them out. And I was on the Mass Turnpike, which is a toll road, and I didn't realize it, but I had entered into the construction zone where they were doing this rip out. And I was still doing about 65, maybe 70. And they had reduced the speed limit there to probably about 50. And honestly, I didn't see the sign. And I was just tooling through there by myself about maybe 10:30 at night, and a state trooper pulled me over, wrote me a ticket. I said, come on, I've got a clean record. I mean, can't I just get off with a warning? He says, no, because too many people are speeding through these construction areas now. He goes, and they're everywhere. Every single exit has construction going on. We can't allow it to happen. I'm sorry, but pay your ticket or contest it. Well, I didn't contest it. Now that, I paid it. Almost 2 years goes by, and then back in April, as you probably watched in a previous video of mine, I had an accident in my car. Me being at fault in that accident was just a technicality of a road law in Massachusetts. I was taking a left under two-way traffic. I was taking a left in front of oncoming traffic. When the light turned green, there was no left arrow, and I had plenty of room. I had already taken the turn. Some young girl in a little black car, looking down, texting, looked up for 1 second just to see the yellow light, hit the gas, didn't even look at what was in front of her. Destroyed my Volkswagen GTI. Anyway, that day during the accident, at the accident scene, all my airbags had gone off. Her car was destroyed. Nobody got hurt, thank God. But it was at least 15 minutes before the cop who showed up at the scene came and asked me if I needed an ambulance. And I said to the cop, if I needed one, I'd be dead by now. You're asking me now, after you go help the pretty little girl? You know, you're going to come across the intersection now and ask me if I need an ambulance? Couldn't you have called backup and said, this other guy got hit, but I can't go to him. Can somebody go see if he's all right? No. Cop didn't like my attitude. So he goes, oh, okay. Here's your citation for failing to yield. I said, no, that's not how it happened. He goes, I got a witness over there, some guy. I said, yeah, the guy who likes the pretty little girl. I said, I saw the whole thing. I saw what he told you, and he's lying. Cop says, well, he's the only witness I got, and he says, you ran a yellow light. Anyway, I tell you that story to tell you this. In Massachusetts, which is probably true in other states, if you have 3 surchargeable events within a 24-month period, you get a suspended license. The only way to avoid the suspension is you have to go to a driver retraining class. What I meant to say. Well, old PipeCat, needing a car desperately because God knows I can't walk anywhere. I took the class at my own expense and went to it this past Sunday, 8 hours long. Basically just some fat guy wandering around and accusing everyone in the class of being menaces to society. I had a speeding ticket 2 years ago and an accident and a ticket on the same day in April. And that comprised 3 surchargeable events. $6,000 in insurance surcharges later, plus the cost of all the costs involved in having an accident and then taking the retraining course at my own expense. Well, that's one of the things I've been busy with lately. Leaving me not much in a mood to do stuff. Anyway, my porch plantation project is coming along scary big. The plants out there, I don't have a porch anymore. I have a jungle. I have to kind of open up the door and make sure nothing attacks me and weed through the jungle to water everybody. Mr. Elwood Maker has been a fan of my garden project, so I'm going to make one about that as soon as there's time. I'm hoping I can get to that this weekend. It's interesting. I got a few little changes and some things I'm going to show you. Honestly, surprising even me. I was not prepared for some of the things that that the garden is doing, which is kind of cool. One thing about this year, as apart from last year, I'm going to have a crop, a real crop. I'm not going to know what to do with that crop. I've got to start making plans now for how I'm going to age that, cure it, dry it, age it, all that stuff. I keep talking, that's why this keeps going out. But halfway through this bowl now, oh yeah, everything's coming together in that Lagonda right now, and it is really nice. The best tobaccos are the ones that you don't have to taste until you want to taste. It's not one of those ones where you got a pipe in your mouth and you're talking to somebody and you're going, oh, hang on. No. Sweet, subtle, and nice. Just nice. Cultured. Everything bad about tobacco is not included in this one. No tongue bite. Nothing. And that marriage of flavor is the same halfway through the bowl. If anything, it's even more uniform now. The smokiness is carrying the sweetness of the Virginias right through. Did they also say, let me see what else they had in there. Oh, the Oriental. The Oriental is where the little tang is coming from, which is nice. I'm a big Oriental fan. I smoke Turkish Izmir by itself quite often. And what's in here is kind of akin to it. So yeah, if you like something a little smoky, a little sweet, not much, just a hint of sweet, with just a sweet little tang in it, just enough, just that much acid, but not anything you get tired of. I recommend Lagonda. Very good. As for my Falcon pipe, well, bowl still cool to the touch, and surprisingly, the bottom didn't get any warmer, at least not yet. The weight is nice. I'm not having any problem with it. The lack of material in that chrome stem. Look at that, kind of like a skeleton. They planned for it pretty good. They omitted all the extra material that they didn't need, and for that, there's no weight in that stem, and it's still substantial. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. I'm going to have an update on my garden project for you soon. I'll probably do some more reviews sometime soon. I promise to stop talking about my car. And I'll come up with some funny stuff. But thank you for indulging me again. Thank you for visiting my channel again. Thank you for staying faithful enough to my channel to come and watch a video that I put out when I haven't done one in weeks. So, my shoutouts this week, as usual. I have my friends, and I have my my favorite presenters, and you know the biggies. Everyone watches. Everybody watches matches. A lot of people pop in on Sergeant Savinelli, and you know the other ones. Mutton Chop. He's got an interesting one you should watch. You might be able to help out Mr. Mutton Chop. He needs a computer to keep his content up. His family dynamic is much like mine, I think. A little different, but the same kind of responsibility. Go watch Mutton Chop, his latest video, and see if you can help him out. I'm waiting for something to happen. I don't know if he's going to do it or not. And when you watch his latest video, you'll know what I'm talking about. My other shoutouts go to my friends, Mr. Roondog, Kevin, out in Montana. He's been doing better lately. In some ways, you know, his condition is fragile. You know, I mean, that's anyone in his position. But lately he's doing great. And I'm so happy for him. He's had some good news. I'll let him tell you about it. And of course, Michael Whiteford. I've been enjoying his I've been enjoying his little craft beer and tobacco matchups, and lately I've been getting a kick out of that. That's mostly where my entertainment's been coming from. You know, these are all great people. Great people, many of them with a lot of talent, and I'm hoping that I can make the PipeCat channel great once again. So thank you for stopping by. I've gone on way too long. I'll talk to you soon. I'm going to put my glasses back on so I can see enough to shut the video off. Take care, my friends.